I know we've lost sound. Oh, it's my microphone. Somehow it's switched over to be my fucking microphone. I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen. You can hear me effing and blinding, but it's not meant to be that. For some reason, it has switched itself over. Let's get back to the music.
Your alternative news for Wednesday, the 11th of December. Politicians are pounding more pavements on the last day before the general election tomorrow. Voters are being urged to turn up tomorrow at polling stations, because together we will all make a big difference. Casting your vote also means you can complain to your mates when your team haven't won. Good luck. The weather is pretty nasty with a lot of rain, and some hail reported in some areas as autumn heads for winter. Wrap up warmly and dance the hours away with us here on LJTV.
I know the devil's here. That's what I was just saying. Perfect. The mic has reset itself, and I wanted to say hello to all of you lovely people. Devil Song, Emily, thank you very much for joining me. We've got some shout-outs to play for you lovely people. Let's get hitting those buttons. There we are. Our stellar mods are in the channel, and I am chuffed to say so. And we've also got a shout-out for our wonderful Devil Son. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. He's as cute as Christmas. He's as helpful as Santa, or as lovable as all. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, you lovely people. What have we got in store for today's show? Well, we will be talking to you about an album in focus, as you probably can imagine. I wasn't here last week. I took a unplanned break for a good 9 days, but I'm now back with you anyway. So this is episode 51 of Online. So we are approaching the year... first end of the year for Online, so it would be a full year, a full 52 weeks worth of shows, but we've got an album in focus to focus on before we quite get to our anniversary one next week. So our anniversary one is around the corner, but our album in focus for this week is Matthew and Son. It is from Yusuf Islam, or better known, especially at the time, as Cat Stevens. We'll be telling you more about that album, sharing some of the information about it, and also moving on to an official link to the album. So we've got that to look forward to. We've got brand new music to look forward to as well. We'll be sharing 4 brand new songs on today's show and telling you a little bit about the bands that are behind them, but usually quite vague. I like to let the music do most of this talking for itself. We shall... Let me jump over to the desk. We shall also be talking about games, although, as I say, things are slightly different. This week it's a little more unplanned, a little bit different. But I've not been very well, and I'm now back up and running to a position where I can get shows out at the very least. But they're not quite up and running to 100%. We'll get there eventually. We're going to start off the show properly with a song from the Beatles in just a moment. This album is celebrating an anniversary around about these last few weeks. We've also got... What else have we got? A fascinating fact. We may be providing you a fascinating fact later on. We've got lots of stuff. Stick around, stay tuned. You'll find out about it as soon as I get around to it, really. So, we start off with the Beatles and this unmistakable track. Such an iconic track. This is Come Together. Taken from the Abbey Road album. Such an iconic track, you're absolutely spot on. So, what have we got in store? We're going to be talking to you about a song that was brand new into the charts in a moment's time. Let's turn it down a little bit more. I know it's a classic song, but it's taken from the Abbey Road album, which was released around about November, December time. I could tell you the precise date. I'm going to keep that a secret. We've also got brand new music coming up very shortly. We've got some games to talk to you about. We don't talk about the movies on Wednesday anymore. We talk about movies on a Friday. Film Friday, I suppose you could look at it that way, sort of thing. We've got plenty of things coming up. And also, I want to point out that, I'm getting back into the swing of things. So, who knows what we'll get up to and what we won't get up to. But stay tuned, there's plenty on its way. No worries, thank you very much for dropping by, and thank you very much for the lurk. It's a different type of love, and I certainly appreciate all kinds of love. We support all kinds of love on this channel. But good luck with Destiny. I haven't started any of the new season stuff, but then that's very much in my wheelhouse, isn't it? I'll get around to it at some point soon. I think I got around to the last season 3 or 4 days before the last season, or first season, stopped. We've got some Queen coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned for that. Keep your ears peeled, as they say. So that is the Beatles with an absolutely classic track. It's just a little bit of a slow fade out at the end of this one. As I say, Abbey Road album that comes from, and it is got a new release at the moment. It's got another special edition that's been released. I believe it's got DVDs, posters, and all kinds of things, all kinds of extra bits available. But that is not our album in focus. We've got a different album in focus completely, and a folk album. I suppose you could describe the artist as very much a folk artist, as Cat Stevens is the artist behind the album in focus for this week. An album that was recorded in 1966 but wasn't released until 1967. We'll tell you more about that album later on. It is entitled Matthew and Son and is the debut album, but it has got a link to Led Zeppelin of all bands. Right, so that's coming up later. But right now, what I can offer you is a song from Queen. This song was brand new into this week's chart of 1989, and it went into the charts at number 21. That is a regular occurrence for Queen, especially throughout the 80s, going straight into the charts at a very respectable height. So that I could hardly call a miracle. But I can tell you, this is the miracle.
Every drop of rain that falls in Sahara Desert says it all. It's a miracle. All God's creations, great and small, the Golden Gate and the Taj Mahal, that's a miracle. There's two babies being born, mothers, fathers, dead and gone, it's a miracle. We're having a miracle on earth. Mother Nature does it all for us. The wonders of this world go on. The hanging out of Babylon, Captain Cook and Cain and Abel, Jimmy Hamlet to the Tower of Babel. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. The one thing we're all waiting for is peace on earth and an end to war. It's a miracle we need, the miracle. The miracle we're all waiting for today. If every
Bless you. Thank you. Thank you for the host. I am blessed to be on that ghost host list for Viv Nemo. Thank you so much.
clothes to wear and food to eat, that's a miracle. If all God's people could be free to live in perfect harmony, it's a miracle. We're having a miracle on earth. Mother Nature does it all for us. Open hearts and surgeries, Sunday mornings with a cup of tea, superpowers, always find
Turn that down ever so slightly. Mainly because I wanted to point out in the video of this song, there was a younger lookalikes of Queen. So in this video, at this point in the video, the original Queen band members are jamming with them together. Just thought I'd point that out. This song was brand new into this week's chart of 1989. Let me have a quick swig of my drink. So yes, it was brand new into this week's chart of 1989, in at number 21. It would be its peak position for The Miracle, coming from the album of the same title, I do believe. I'm running by memory on that one in particular. But there was also another fact I wanted to point out. The album would be a number one selling album for Queen, but then that's not really that surprising, is it? We move to Alfie Templeman in just a moment. Alfie Templeman is behind some of this week's brand new music. And that's not the new music pictures anymore. Yes, that's the reason why I don't push that button. Ignore that. You didn't see nothing. You didn't see nothing. And let me say a big thank you for Jelly for joining us in chat. Thank you very much. It's a joy to see your name in chat. Welcome, welcome. So what else have we got? Yes, this is a brand new artist. It's out. The song's been out for a couple of weeks. That's usually the way I do things. I'll give myself some time to get to know the songs intimately before I pass on my recommendations. And Alfie Templeman would be the first for this week. So, he is a brand new artist. He is from Bedford, I do believe. I have the notes written down here in front of me. Alfie Templeton from Bedford, UK. Don't Go Wasting Time is the name of the song. And I shall post a link directly to his official Twitter feed. If you would like to find out more, then don't hesitate. Well, hesitate enough to hear the song first. There we go. Don't Go Wasting Time.
Sometimes alone to hide the high, catching feelings from the start. You're better off leaving it to me, 'cause I'm happy as far as I can see. Don't go wasting time on the past. Chasing things that weren't meant to last. Some lonely days will drag you down. You know you're not fast around, and the one you love is nowhere to be seen. So you keep on staring at the TV screen. Don't go wasting time on the past. Chasing things that weren't meant to last. When I'm alone, I never seem to get you off my mind. When you're on the phone to him, I'm always behind. When we talk occasionally, my heart skips a beat. I'm running for you. and things that weren't meant to last.
And there we go. Finally, it kicks back in. So, that was brand new music. It is from Alfie Templeman. The name of the song is Don't Go Wasting Time. And he is from Bedford. I am just about to tweet out about it. I just wanted to tag in the Mixer link so that if somebody goes, oh, they're playing that stuff, I would love to come over. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. Thank you so much. It is a gift having you in today's stream. That is a lovely thing, indeed. Thank you so much. Let's play a shout-out button for that. I have to do that. We've got some new things that I've been working on, and bless your heart for the embers. It really does mean the world to me. We've got more brand new music coming up on today's show. You know what? We're going to go a step further. That's not enough. That's not enough of a shout-out for the wonderful embers. Let's crank this mother up a little bit. That's a little bit better. Thank you. Thank you so much. It does mean the world to me. Bless your heart. It is a pleasure to see you in today's chat and all of you lovely people because, to be honest with you, I was between two minds of actually even doing today's show. So I'm glad. I am so chuffed that I have decided to do today's show. It may be a little bit bare bones and rough and ready for this week, but you know what? We'll get next week's show even better. So, I will post Alfie Templeton's official link on the Twitter feed in just a moment, but I'm going to press play on this next song from Daryl and John, although you'll probably know them as Hall & Oates. From Daryl and John, we're going to have Had I Known You Better. So if you'd known Daryl and John better, you probably know them by their first names. Thank you so much, you lovely, lovely people.
About the one you wish was there beside you. In the past few days I've grown, love the giggles on the phone and how we hug so nicely. And from the first time that I saw you, now had I known you better then, I would have said those three old words in front of the first. Had I known you better then. Now I'm gonna move away, another town, another crazy day. Ooh, I wanna stay and maybe hang around you. Call it luck, call it fate, call it a shame that we have met so late and loved so lightly. And from the first time that I saw you, had I known you better then, I would have said those three old words. And from the first time that I saw you, had I known you, had I known you better than, oh. So much in love, you couldn't wait to get to sleep about the one you wish was right there beside you. From the first time that I saw you, had I known you better then, I would have said those three old words. And from the first time that I saw you, had I known you know you better than, oh, had I known you, had I known, had I known you, had I known you better than, oh, had I known you better.
stand a little bit more to that side there. That'll be the place to be. And I'm about to have a cigarette as well, trying to calm my nerves. I want to say a big thank you very much for joining us in today's stream. Bless you all for joining us, and a big shout out for Artemis joining. I think he was the last one to join us. So thank you very much for joining us, Artemis. It's a pleasure to see your name in chat as ever. So if you're not already following Artemis, then do him a favour and join his follow list and thank him for it later on. So we're just steering you in the right directions. And of course, a little bit of a nudge to remind you that it is the festive time of year. Yeah, Christmas decorations have already come out. At the single push of a button, my Christmas decorations come and go. But what else have we got? We've got a big giveaway happening at the moment. We're looking to find a target number for that to be the trigger for us to give away our giveaway. How many times did I say giveaway? I'll say giveaway later on again in today's show. Just look out for that. We've got the album in focus to talk to you about. And before we get to any of that, we're going to have a short ad break. I do say so myself. I do say so. So here is the ad breaks. We shall be back in just a moment. Don't go changing because we love you just the way you are.
Got any lemonade? He wants. Milk! Ugh! It's what Ian Rush drinks. Ian Rush? Yeah, and he said if I didn't drink lots of milk, when I grow up, I'm going to be good enough to play for Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley? Who are they? Exactly. Now get off. Give me some. Get off.
Just look at them. They must be crackers. A double-decker bus could be right on top of them and they'd never even see it. Hey! You must be out of your tiny minds. When you cross the road, always use the green cross code. Keep your wits about you and keep looking and listening. Great. See you, girls. Take it from me. Be smart. Be safe.
Thank you very much for the host as well. Bless your heart. Thank you very much for joining us, Green Eye. What I wanted to say is that that was the Green Cross code there as well. So that was the perfect time for the host for someone's name who is Green Eye. I personally enjoyed that, at least anyway. Thank you very much for joining us for episode 51. Yes, 1 week away from our year anniversary, or a year's worth of shows. So we're not far off that at all. What else have we got to look forward to? Well, our album in focus is coming up in just a few moments' time. Before we get there, we're going to be listening to the Tremolos with Here Comes My Baby. The album in focus for this week is from Cat Stevens, although he is recording still, but under the name of Yusuf Islam. I'll tell you more about that as well later on. But the album is Matthew and Son. We'll tell you more about that after we've heard this song. There is a fascinating fact, some games to talk about, and other bits that I'll definitely get around to. But I'm good. Thank you very much for asking, Artemis, and I certainly hope you all are doing well in today's chat, or out of the chat as well. In or out. Here comes my baby.
Midnight moonlight out. Please walk me the long and lonely mile. And every time I do, I keep seeing this picture of you. Here comes my baby, here she comes now. And it comes as no surprise to me. With another guy, well, here comes my baby. Here she comes now. Walking with a love that's oh so fine. Never to be mine, no matter how I try. You never walk alone, and you'll forever talk so fine, never to be mine, no matter how I try. Here comes my baby, here she comes now. And then it comes as no surprise to me with another guy. Well, here comes my baby, here she comes now.
Okay, this is Tremolo's version.
With a love that's so fine.
Turn it down just a touch. So you can hear me. A little bit more, actually, I think. Let's not be shy. Okay, so this is a song recorded by the Tremolos. Actually, it was recorded by the Tremolos in 1968, I think. And the album In Focus was released in 1967. Although the original of that song was recorded in 1966, like most of the album was recorded in 1966. The album In Focus. That song, the original of, is by Cat Stevens and is on our album In Focus for this week. That was a cover of it. We are looking at Matthew and Son, which Matthew and Son, I have the list here, and for some reason I've closed my phone. Don't know, I've got the information here in front of me. 1 second. So, the album In Focus is called Matthew and Son. It was also the debut single released by Cat Stevens as well before the album was released. And around the time, his older brother tried to get him an introduction to Mike Hurst, and his older brother is David. David definitely got to the link up because here is Cat Stevens' album In Focus, Matthew and Son. An excellent album. This album is one of those albums that has slipped through the cracks of time, and it really shouldn't be. It is received a 3.5 rating, a star rating from AllMusic, which is where we look for our backup, we look to be backed up by their review as well. The album is only just over half an hour long, so it's a short album, but you can hear influences in Cat's singing and his writing and recording style. I'm stumbling through my words, I apologise. But you can hear the influence of Bob Dylan, the Beatles, and many other artists as well. There is an official link to be had to this album. We will be moving on to a song by Led Zeppelin in just a moment, and I will tell you how this album In Focus from 1967 actually links to Led Zeppelin. So here is Come On and Dance, Cat Stevens, from our album In Focus.
I take you out all over town, but you always start sitting down, you never move. Baby, what's wrong with me when we go dancing? You're just there like a tree. Baby, come on and dance. You're holding me back. I gotta get out this feeling. Before I go mad, you gotta let me in. The music's getting me now. You gotta come on and dance. Stop hanging around. I don't care if you twist or jive, just as long as you're looking alive, you'll make me glad. Baby, you'll make me rise. I
Come on, work. There you go. Finally, it works. So I'm back with you now. So we've just been listening to the first song that we wanted to share with you from the album in focus for this week, which is the debut album from Cat Stevens, who is now recording under the name of Yusuf Islam. He has had a religious change. He has started to follow a different faith, hence the change of name. But he is still recording, and he was still recording after he was advised to do so by in his new faith, as he was told that he was given a gift by God and that he should be utilising that gift. If not utilising that gift, it is almost an affront to the gift he was given. That's kind of the argument he was given, and I think that is a brilliant argument to be had. So he is still recording under the name of Yusuf Islam, but at this time when he was recording this debut album, it was Cat Stevens. The album is an excellent album. It was originally recorded in 1966, but the song we're going to talk about, which is the title song for the track for the album as well, so Matthew and Son, originally the song was recorded with John Paul Jones, so the bass player from Led Zeppelin. 2 years before he joined Led Zeppelin, was recording Matthew and Son with Cat Stevens. So Cat Stevens is very much a folk artist, and here we go. We are linking a folk album directly, an official link directly to a rock band. And here we go. We're moving on to Ramble On, as it seems like the perfect song to be playing after I have just rambled on. We've got plenty more to come. Stay tuned. But here is some Zepp.
Leaves are falling all around. Time I was on my way. Thanks to you, I'm much obliged for such a pleasant stay. But now it's time for me to go. The autumn moonlight's my way. But now I smell the rain, and with it pain, and it's heading my way. Sometimes I grow so tired, but I know about one thing I got to do. I ramble on, and now the time is now. Sing my song. I'm going round the world, I gotta find my girl on my way. I've been this way 10 years till the day. Ramble on, I'm proud the queen of all my dreams. Got no time for spreading rumors. The time has come to be gone. And though our health we drank a
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a bit of Led Zeppelin, can you? Lead for the head. You're spot on, Artemis, as ever. Yes, a brilliant connection to a folk album, a brilliant folk album as well, but an excellent supergroup. So, John Paul Jones was playing bass for Cat Stevens on his debut album. That's how we make our connection to this. We will have some brand new music to follow this song, Ramble On, from Led Zeppelin, and we'll also have some games to talk to you about.
And now the time is now. Sing my song. I'm going round the world. I gotta find my girl on my way. I've been this way 10 years to the day. I gotta ramble on. I gotta find the queen of all my dreams. I tell you no lie. Mine's a tale that can't be told. My freedom I hold dear. How years ago, in days of old, when magic filled the air, just in the darkest depths of Mordor, I met a girl so fair. But Gollum, the evil one, crept up and slipped away with her, yeah.
I love those lines. Then Gollum creeped up and and escaped away with her or something along those lines. But they have mentioned that they're a little bit embarrassed about how many times they referenced Lord of the Rings and things like that. So this is one of those songs that I have to point that out in. Thank you very much for joining me on today's show. It's episode 51. We're one away from completing a year's worth of shows. But this is the official link to the album in focus. The album in focus for this week is Matthew and Son, if you're just joining us. Bless you for joining us. We've got new music in just a second. I can't believe it's nearly a year already. Yeah, I know, it flies by so quickly. But this would be a year of the online shows in particular, which I started originally on the radio. Then we moved to having it on the radio as well as having it on the stream. And now we have left the radio behind after a good 10 years of dedication to the radio. And we're moving on to different things. So that's why it's not all been on a year's worth of actually streaming, but we're coming up to that at some point soon. So yes, crazy times indeed. That was Ramble On from Led Zeppelin. We've got some brand new music for you. This artist, their name is Bean, B-E-N-E-E. Not entirely sure I'm saying that correctly, but I can tell you the name of the song is entitled Monster, and also they are from Auckland. So if that helps you narrow it down, we will also tweet out a link to their official Twitter feed so that you might find it easier to follow those particular breadcrumbs. So here is Monster, brand new music here on LJ TV.
I see him standing right outside. His face is red, his eyes are wide. What is it that he wants from me? Maybe he just feels lonely. What is it that he has in mind? Why has he come here at this time? The monster takes me away from my safe space into the night. The monster takes me away.
So, we are back with you now. There's about 30 seconds left on this song from Bean, I think is how I'm going to pronounce her name. She is a new artist from Auckland, and the name of this song is Monster. Spelled incorrectly, but it's Monster all the same. What else have we got in store? We've got more brand new music. Normally at this point I would be saying that is the picture to follow onto the Twitter feed, or it's over there sometimes, but I don't have the pictures for this week. It's a little bit of a bare bones show this week, but you know what? It's okay. It's all good. It's lovely to be in your company. That's what I really appreciate. We've got a couple more songs. I'm going to play another song before we talk to you about a brand new game. We'll be doing that after we've heard Traffic with an excellent song which was covered by one of the members of the Young Ones, if you know that one in particular. If you know that TV programme, a British TV programme from BBC Two, and the 80s as well. So I'm going back quite some time in particular, but this track is the original version of Hole in My Shoe. We'll be back talking to you about games in a second. We've got a fascinating fact coming up in the second hour of the show. Thank you so much for all of the embers. Let's get it right. Bless your hearts. It really does warm mine, and I'm so thankful for it. Thank you so much. That is one of my favourite ones as well, because mixtapes are very close to my heart. Someone who talks about music on two shows every week. Yeah, music is very close to my heart, and I used to spend a lot of hours working on mixtapes. Each and every song meaning something a little bit more about me, trying to express something with each and every song. But I'm sure those who have recorded mixtapes in the past know exactly what I'm talking about. But thank you for the sparks as well, and for your attention, for being here. That is the real gift. Thank you. Here is Hole in My Shoe. Or if you want the northern version, Hole in Me Shoe.
Was looking at me from a bubblegum tree, and all that I knew was the hole in my shoe, which was letting in water. I walked through a field that just wasn't real, with 100 tin soldiers which stood at my shoulder, and all that I knew was the hole in my shoe, which was letting in water. Letting in water. Letting in water.
Of a giant albatross, which flew through a crack in a cloud to a place where happiness reigned all year round, and music played ever so loudly.
It started to fall and suddenly woke, and the dew on the grass had soaked through my coat, and all that I knew.
You're spot on. A mixtape, a pen, and after listening to it, there is no way they could not understand exactly how I feel. Every part of me. After all, that's kind of the concept behind mixtapes. I'm sure that my best friend would know that every song has been chosen just for them. Or your intended recipient would understand. They're meant to, anyway. We've got a game to talk to you about. We don't have the trailers. We're not running the trailers this week, but don't worry, never fear. They will be back next week. Maybe. Who knows? You'll have to tune in next week to find out, won't you? I can't change it from this end. Alright, let's talk to you about a brand new game. Then we're going to also move on to Do, the Rolling Stones, which was another influencer of Cat Stevens for his album In Focus for this week, Matthew and Son. We will return to that album in the second hour of the show. So, what have we got? We've We've got lovely, lovely people dropping more sparks in the room. Thank you so much. Let's hit that Ember shout out once again, and also hit shout out for VTech. Thank you so much for joining us in today's stream. So let's hit that one and that one. Bless your hearts. Thank you so much. It does mean the world to me. We've got a game to talk to you about as well. And let's turn them off. Really does mean the world to me. But having you here in the stream does mean the world to me. Let's hit the shout out for VTech, and then I can tell you about this brand new game.
I don't think there's a
There
hell
we
lot I can
go.
do.
So this brand new game is called Arise. It's a simple story, or that's the subtitle to the name of this game. So Arise, a simple story. It has received an 8.3. We are highlighting it for the release on the Xbox. We will not be playing the trailer with it, or be pointing a picture out as well, because I haven't loaded them out to the system, so I can't be doing that right now. But an 8.3 is a very respectable rating for a game. As a matter of fact, it is our top rated game for this week, and we are saying it's highlighted for the Xbox, but it could be available on other platforms too. Let me tell you one more thing about it. You bend time and watch memories come alive. That's the whole concept behind it. So it's a simple story, but its main title is Arise. If you want to find out more information about that, it is a brand new game. It is already available on the marketplace, and check out whether it's available on your particular console. We're trying to include. We will be talking about one for the PlayStation, one for the Nintendo Wii, as is it Wii? No, Switch. Nintendo Switch, as well as the PC. There we go. We get there in the end. Here is the Rolling Stones as we get ready to finish off the first hour of the show. Stay tuned. There is still plenty in store.
Chased a boy right through the park in a case of mistaken identity. They put a bullet through his heart. Heartbreakers, with your photo for. I wanna tear your world apart. You heartbreaker, with your photo for. I wanna tear your world apart. 10-year-old girl on the street corner, sticking needles in her arms. She died in the dirt of the alleyway. Mother said she had no chance, no chance. Heartbreaker, heartbreaker. She stuck pins right in her heart. Heartbreaker, a pain maker. Stole love right out your heart. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Wanna tear your love apart. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Wanna tear your love
I am sorry to hear that so many people have been under the weather. There's been definitely something going around. I'm not entirely convinced it is just the food. But I'm glad to hear that you're on the mend at least anyway. Maybe not 100%, but I do wish all the best for all of you lovely people in the stream, and maybe it will come back. What goes around comes around, hopefully. I wasn't feeling very well myself, so I completely sympathise. As it, I took a good 9 days off of the stream. So we are going to take another short break as well. We're going to stop for the news and the weather. I say the weather like that because the weather that we will be providing you will be very vague, very shit, and not very localised for you in particular. But never fear, we have something set up for you too, so do listen to the news and weather, and then afterwards, if you want a more localised news weather for you, then you can, and news as well, you can type that in the chat. You've got all of those lovely options. We've got games galore and all sorts of things going on. So, let's take a short break, and we shall be back after the news and weather.
Your alternative news for Wednesday, the 11th of December. Politicians are pounding more pavements on the last day before the general election tomorrow. Voters are being urged to turn up tomorrow at polling stations, because together we will all make a big difference. Casting your vote also means you can complain to your mates when your team haven't won. Good luck. The weather is pretty nasty with a lot of rain, and some hail reported in some areas as autumn heads for winter. Wrap up warmly and dance the hours away with us here on LJTV.
And we've round the corner and we've started round two. I'm going to say round again, why not? We've started the second hour of the show. You're listening and watching, I've got to get used to that, still almost a year down the line and I'm still staying listening as if I was exclusively on the radio, but we're not anymore. So you're watching LJTV and bless your heart for doing so. This is a show that is entitled Online and hosted each and every week by my good self. We have an album in focus which we shall return to on this second hour of the show. We've got more brand new games to be talking to you about, although this week we are not playing the trailers accompanied with music because we don't play the trailers with their original sound. We still want to encourage you to go and seek out more information on your own. So we're just highlighting some of these things in the hope that it will pique your interest and you will seek out more information. But what I wanted to say is that we will definitely be trying to stop over at VTech's stream if he's going to be streaming later on. I think that's a great sign. It means that he's doing much better than I was worried about. So that's excellent news. So we'll be checking out VTech's stream afterwards. We'll no doubt be trying to host him too, if he's still there. So, I'm going to start off this second hour of the show with Every Day Hurts from Sad Cafe. We're going to be then moving to a song from the charts of yesteryear. From that point, we shall also be playing some brand new music. There is lots of features right at the beginning of the first hour, and then we've got some more to spoil you with. Can't say fairer than that. Every Day Hurts. It's a story of a sad cafe. Here we go. Every single day, you know? It's like every single... Yeah, I know that feeling. I sympathise.
I saw the lamplight from your window. I didn't think you were home, sitting there all alone. So I came up to your room to ask you why. Why did you hurt me so? Why did you have to go away? I never wanted anything in my life, not until I met you. I thought you'd see me through all the bad days that I'd had before I met you. Something in the past, never thought it couldn't last forever. There's There's one thing I can say every day, how I miss you. Oh, every single day, every single day, every single day that I'm without you. It's a little bit, it's a little bit, just a little bit, just a little more, just a little more than I've ever been hurt before. Every single day, every single day that I'm without you. It's a little bit, it's a little bit, just a little bit more. And now I look down from your window, see a young man across the street. He looks something like me, and is walking with his head down to the ground. Did you want to hurt me so? Why didn't you have to go away? There's one thing I can say every day, how I miss you. Oh, every single day that I'm without you. It's a little bit, it's a little bit, just a little bit, just a little more, just a little more than I've been hurt before. Every single day that I'm without you. It's a little bit, it's a little bit, just a little bit, just a little more than I've been hurt before. Every single day that I'm without you. It's a little bit, it's a little bit, just a little bit, just a little more than I've been hurt before.
So that was Sad Cafe with Every Day Hurts. That was a huge hit for them. But also, I wanted to point out there is a connection from Sad Cafe to many different bands as well. Sad Cafe, Mike and the Mechanics, there was a connection to them. And also, Paul Young used to be the frontman for Sad Cafe as well, although he is not singing the lead vocals on that track. Paul Carrick, who also becomes the co-lead singer of the Mike and the Mechanics. So there's lots of little connections to be had via Sad Cafe. Anyway, just an interesting fact I wanted to pass on to you. We move back to the charts of yesteryear and we say, bless you. Thank you so much for the embers. I must remember it's embers. Really, really do appreciate it. And you're enjoying today's music, and that really does, that warms my heart too. Because again, music is better when we share it together. At least that's what I think, and I'm sure I'm trying to convince you all of the same facts. We move back even further than the charts would tell us to do so. So, originally, this song is recorded by Bob Marley and the Wailers. In this week of 1999, there we are. This week of 1999 saw Lauryn Hill and Bob Marley, so Bob Marley featuring Lauryn Hill on this track, with Bob Marley's original Turn Your Lights Down Low. So rather than hearing Lauryn Hill ruin such an excellent song, which was taken from the Exodus album, we're going to hear Turn Your Lights Down Low from Bob Marley and the Wailers, the way it should fucking well be. Beautiful song this is. Love this track.
Turn your lights down low. And pull your window curtains. Oh, let your moon come shining into our life again. Saying, ooh, Say I want to give you some good, good loving. Good loving. Turn your lights down low. Never try to resist. Oh no. Oh, let my love come tumbling into our life again, saying, ooh, I love you, and I want you to know right now, ooh, I love you. And I want you to know right now, 'cause I want to give you some love. Oh, I want to give you some good, good loving. Oh, I want to give you some love.
So such a beautiful song. Such a beautiful song. Bob Marley, what a lyricist and artist that he was. Robbed far too soon from us all. But we're going to be moving to some brand new music in just a moment. This was originally recorded, this is the original version recorded by Bob Marley and the Wailers. As I say, I've heard the version featuring Lauryn Hill, but in my opinion, it's dog shit. Let's just say straight away exactly how I feel. I think that Lauryn Hill's version is absolute dog shit, even though it did enter the charts this week of 1999 in at number 15. Who knows if that was the peak position? I'm not trying to remember that information. Let's move on to something else, something completely different. So here is some brand new music lined up for you next. It is lovely to see all of you beautiful people joining us in chat. So what have we got in store next? Here is some brand new music for you. I have just tweeted out about the last brand new music, which was Bean from Auckland, and I think the name of the song was Monster, going by memory. You can tell because my face goes all weird. Memory. That's my memory face, so you can remember that for later. So that was the brand new music. I've just tweeted out about that, and we're going to be telling you about this new artist. So I just need the information up. I should have done that beforehand, but to be honest with you, I was trying to catch up with tweeting out the information for the last one. There we go. So, Orla Gartland. Orla Gartland is from Dublin and Dublin, Ireland, in case you're wondering. And the name of this song is Figure It Out. This song has explicit content contained within, so this would be something that I would refer to as being too naughty for noise radio. Here we go. Brand new music for you. I'll be tweeting out about this new artist in just, well, when I get around to it. But soon.
Said it, but I thought that you'd figure it. I see your name light up on my phone. I feel a little differently about you than I did not long ago. You drank too much beer and you got afraid. You don't remember typing in my number. I say it's okay. It's not okay. Next New Year's Eve, I'll see you there. We'll rotate around the room on different planets. I say I don't care, but I care. And I never say it, but I fucking hate it. You ask if I mind, then you're right there. Oh, it's not fair. I know I never said it, but I thought that you'd figure it out. I don't have the heart to break it, so I'm hoping you'll figure it out. With our friends, I'm speaking in codes. You know everything that there's to know about me. to let go when you don't let go. And I heard that you've been doing fine and renting my old room, and I just hope you don't resent me for the way that I've been dealing with it. I'm not dealing with it well. And I can't explain it. I'm more than just jaded. You ask if I mind, then you're right there. Oh, it's not fair. I know I never said it, but I thought that you'd figure it out. I don't have the heart to break it, so I'm hoping you'll figure it out. I know I never said it, but I thought that you'd figure it out. Don't have the heart to break it, so I'm hoping it's not hard to read my mind when I'm making it so obvious. It's not hard to read my mind when I'm making it so obvious. It's not hard to read my mind when I'm making it so obvious. It's not hard to read my mind when I'm making it so obvious.
Here I am, I'm back with you. Okay, so that was Orla Gartland, I think is the name. Her name. She's a brand new artist. She is from Dublin. I would highly recommend you seek out more information about her. I think she's going to be doing some very excellent things, and you are spot on. She has got a beautiful voice. So I thought I'd point out where she comes from, because this would be possibly the one that I would want to highlight the most. But we do have another artist coming up in a little while from Dublin as well. As a matter of fact, I think I've tweeted out the wrong international symbols for Ireland. I may have to change that one. We have to change that one in a second. Anyway, Orla Gartland is signed to St. Vincent's record label. St. Vincent is a recording artist from California, I believe she is from. I did have it written down somewhere. Where is it? Anyway, she was a member of the Polyphonic Spear, and she has also gone out into her own solo career as well. So there is definite connections in the sound between Orla Gartland and St. Vincent. So you can tell she's definitely getting inspiration from her new mentor, would be a nice way to describe it in particular. So we're going to move to Birth in Reverse. This song is from St. Vincent, the person we've just been talking about. And then we're going to be taking a short break. We shall also be returning to... what's that? Spooky Conditions. I'll catch you up in a second, sorry. We're going to have an ad break as well, and then we'll be returning to the album in focus. So I just can't quite focus from this distance. I'll catch up with you in a second. Here is Birth in Reverse. I think this has also got some swears in it too.
From the edge
So, from California, that is St. Vincent with Birth in Reverse. We have a direct link to the album, not the album in focus, that's something completely different. And in the first hour as well, we had a direct link to the brand new music. But we've taken care of business now. Let me say hello and welcome to Headshot. Bless your heart for joining us, and thank you very much for the host. You may have noticed we have a little shout out for you. I don't think it procced the right information in the chat, but there has been a little technical issue there. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I'm trying to iron that out so it will be working absolutely perfect from now on. Fingers crossed. So, that was St. Vincent. We're going to be moving on to Joy Division in just a moment. I will postpone doing adverts, as I'm getting told it's probably not a good idea, but I'm getting told you people in chat will know it's VTech who just mentioned that I shouldn't do adverts, so I guess I won't be doing adverts. I'll be leaving that once again. We move on to Joy Division instead, and then after that we'll be listening to the album in focus. Stay tuned for this and much more.
Watch from the wings as the seas were replaying. We saw ourselves now as we never had seen. Betrayal of the trauma and degeneration. The sorrows we suffered have never
Okay, I love Joy Division. It's a little bit difficult for me to be talking over them. Especially the vocals of Ian Curtis in particular. Definitely reaches me in my home, in my heart. So this is Decades from Joy Division that's playing in the background, but I wanted to talk to you about our giveaway. So our giveaway is happening at the moment. I was going to run it just for December, so giving it away on January the 1st, but that is not quite the case anymore. So we will have a target. I haven't decided what that target is yet. I will be announcing it at some point soon as well, so you can have an idea of what's expected, what's coming, what's around the corner. So this will be our advert instead. We may not be having an advert, but I'm trying to please all of the people all of the time. Sometimes. Yes, we've got a brand new giveaway that we're giving, and it's a album in focus from a short list of the albums that we've had over the last year. I'll make that short list public when we're getting closer towards the giveaway. Also, there is an independent game that we'll be offering to you as well. And they will be gifted through the iTunes store for the album, of course, and for the game that will be through the Xbox Game Store. So that will be through the Microsoft Game Store, I should say. So that's what you can look forward to. I'm not announcing what they are at the moment. That's why it's a Magical Mystery Musical prize. So in the future we will find out. But there was a few criteria to meet in order to be eligible to be pulled from the draw as the winner. So, you must be following the 3 channels that you'll find in the top corner over there. Mixer, Twitch, and thirdly, the YouTube channel as well. I do have buttons to try and help you find your way there quicker, so you can click the links as well. I'll explain that in a little while. In the Mixer channel, you need to have reached the level 20. There is no level requirements in the other channels at all, because Mixer is my primary channel to stream from. So that's the reason why I would like to encourage people to be watching more on the Mixer channel. But we're an inclusive channel here, so we want to include the other platforms too. So with that in mind, I'm trying to push forward on 100 followers for the YouTube one, so we can have the custom URL and it would match across the entire channel. But it doesn't currently do that. On top of that, there is also a tweet to tweet out once you have achieved level 20 with a music-based GIF, pun, that kind of thing, something to say that you have achieved the requirements, and then your name will be added into the pot. I will tell you what the target is, and I'm leaning in the direction of when we hit the target of 100 followers on YouTube, but 100 seems a little low. Maybe I'm just being too ambitious. I'm not sure. Anyway, there's about a minute left on this track. I shall tell you more information about that in coming days, but we have a giveaway because we love you all so much. Say we, just talking about myself. The very excellent Joy Division with the tragic story of Ian Curtis, who is providing the lead vocals in that song. We now move to the album in focus. There is a jingle to play to say the album in focus is coming. It's only the mother-loving album in focus, son, and all that sort of stuff. But it has been misplaced. It has not been added to the system, so fuck it. We're moving on. The album in focus. Just need my notes, which are over there. Just off camera, not helpful. The album in focus we were talking about in the first hour of the show. This would be one of those albums that I would suggest that should be in your collection. If it's not in your collection, then you should add it to your collection. Your copy is waiting out there in the real world, or maybe on the digital platforms as well. So hence the reason I'm pointing that out. So these are the albums that I will be choosing from for the giveaway we were just talking about. So the album in focus is from 1966, although its release was 1967. I was explaining in the first hour that the album was recorded well before it was released. Matthew and Son, the original single released from the album, also features John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin, and that was our official link in the first hour. That was recorded in 1966, so it wasn't released. The album wasn't released until a year later. The year after that would be when the Tremeloes covered the song from this album from Cat Stevens that was Here Comes My Baby. We were talking about that in the first hour as well. So we're going to move to another song from this very excellent album from 1967. Also, it has a 3.5 rating from AllMusic, or in stars, if that helps you. We look for them to back up our opinions, and they certainly have done so far. This is an album that has definitely slipped through the cracks, but an album that should be respected and should be in a Hall of Fame somewhere. There is definite influences from Cat Stevens in this album from the Beatles, Bob Dylan, the Rolling Stones, and many, many more. His older brother was trying to catch the attention. David, Cat Stevens' older brother, was trying to catch the attention of Mike Hurst, and as you can understand, he definitely did, because Cat Stevens is a thing. He now also continues to release music under the name of Yusuf Islam. There we are, Yusuf Islam. So we move to another track taken from this very, very excellent album, Matthew and Son from 1967, more or less. And this is I Love My Dog. But before we move anywhere else, we need to say a big shout out to my brother. He has joined us in channel. Hi, bruv. It is lovely to see your name in chat. I certainly hope you're doing well. How are you? Here is a shout out for him.
This is the funnest night ever!
if you're not already, although it should have procced the information. It wasn't doing that before. I've got a problem there. We'll try and get that sorted. If we could get a proc shout out in the chat so that people can find their way to my brother's stream. He is the reason why I stream. I would still be on the radio if he hadn't encouraged me into the world of streaming. And thank you very much for doing so, bruv. I love you so much. So here is some music from the album in focus, Cat Stevens, I Love My Dog.
I love my dog as much as I love you. But you may think my dog will always come through. All he asks from me is the food to give him strength. All he ever needs is love, and that he knows he'll get. So I love my dog as much as I love you. But you make the fade, my dog will always come through. All the pay I need comes shining through his eyes. I don't need no cold water to make me realize that I love my dog as much as I love you. But you make a fade, my dog will always come through. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. I love my dog as much as I love you. But you make the fade, my dog will always come through. I love my dog, baby, I love my dog. Na 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 na. I said I love my dog, baby, I love my dog, baby, I love my dog. Na 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 na.
So not just the name of a song, Matthew and Son is also the name of the debut album from Cat Stevens released in 1967. It was a hit album for Cat Stevens, who is still recording but under a different name. You will still find him under the name of Cat Stevens, but it will redirect you to Yusuf Islam, as we were talking about his change in religion a few years ago. He became Muslim, so hence the reason he has changed his name to Yusuf Islam. And good luck to him, because actually changing his religion is what forced him back into music, or at least convinced him back into music, at least anyway. And I think that is a great story. We were talking about it in the first hour. I wanted to catch up with the thanks, brother. Well, no problems whatsoever. You are very, very welcome indeed. Any way I can help out, bruv. After all, I certainly like to. I enjoy to. I get a little bit of warmth in my heart. That is an album we shall return to once again. Just not on today's show. Don't worry about it. That's the end of that album for today's show, but we will be back to Matthew and Son on Friday's show. That is the bridge. It bridges the gap between the working week and the worries of the weekend, or is that the other way around? Depends on whatever is happening in your life, I suppose. We've got some music to move on to. There is going to be a connection from the title of the last song to the title of this next song from Al Stewart, although I was very tempted to move from I Love My Dog to DMX with Where's My Dogs At, but I don't think it would quite work as well. So we've gone down the Al Stewart route instead. So for the dog lovers, there is I Love My Dog, and for the cat lovers, there is The Year of the Cat. Here is Al Stewart, who used to live or share a flat with Paul Simon. Just an interesting fact that I was desperate to pass on to someone, and that someone was you. Feel lucky, if you like. Thank you so much for joining me, you lovely, lovely people.
got moving in a country where they turn back time. You go strolling through the crowd like Peter Laura contemplating a crime. She comes out of the sun in a silk dress, running like a watercolor in the rain. Don't bother asking for explanation, she'll just tell you that she came in the year of the cat. She doesn't give you time for questions as she locks up your arm in hers, and you follow till your sense of which direction completely disappears. By the blue tiled walls near the market stalls, there's a hidden door she leads you to. These days, she says, I feel my life just like a river running through the year of the cat.
What's not to like? It's Al Stewart. He's a brilliant artist and an excellent lyricist as well, and a very underrated guitarist. Just saying. There's many things about Al Stewart that has slipped through the cracks, but he used to be a flatmate of Paul Simon when Paul Simon came to live over in England for a little while. So we're going to be moving from Paul Simon's roommate to Gerry Rafferty in just a moment. We're going to be hearing right down the line, but there is some brand new music coming up in a couple of moments, and we'll be playing that after we've heard from Gerry Rafferty. We've also got some more new games to be talking to you about. We'll have another new game in today's this hour, but we'll probably be catching up with the last two in the very final segment of the show, passing the top of the hour. So there is lots to look forward to. I think have a fascinating fact squirreled away that I could also share that with you too. So we've got plenty of things still to come. Thank you very much for all of your sparks, you lovely people, lovely people. Yes, keep warm, keep nice and warm with your hot chocolate. Warms my heart when you people get involved. I say you people, in my mind I go, does that sound insulting? I don't mean you people. You people! Let's get back to the Year of the Cat.
And you're still with her on the bus and the tourists are gone, and you've thrown away your choice and lost your ticket, so you have to stay on. But the drumbeat strains of the night remain, and the rhythm of the newborn day. You know sometime you're bound to leave her, but for now you're gonna stay in the year of the cat. Year of the cat.
Such a beautiful song from Al Stewart. That is Year of the Cat. Was that taken from the Orange album? No. I think it may be from the album that was called Year of the Cat. Anyway, I'm sure there is someone out there who wants to argue about something. Maybe not that, but about something. I don't know, I'm getting a little bit off track. Right, I'm just winding myself up, really. Okay, we're moving on to Gerry Rafferty and Right Down the Line in just a moment. But what have we got coming up down the line? Well, coming up down the line, we've still got to talk to you about our giveaway. For those of you who have missed out, we are running a giveaway at the moment. I'm looking for a target to hit for us to then trigger the giveaway. So at the moment, we're working our way towards that. I also remembered just now you said about 20 degrees Fahrenheit. I wanted to say, keep yourself warm. We want our Care Bear to be nice, warm, and safe, as I'm always telling you. So yes, do keep warm. What else was I going to say? Yeah, I'm going to talk to you about the giveaway. So it's going to be an album in focus, or from the short list of albums in focus, as well as an independent type game. Not a full £80, £100 type release, but an independent type game. The games that we try to support on this channel. For instance, tomorrow is Thursday Throwback, where we will be playing more independent type games, you see? It all links together. We also have a retro to talk to you about on today's show. That would be the retro retrospective. We look back to the games of yesteryear. They may not even be that old. Sometimes they are pretty old, but they may not be that old. I'm saying that for this week at least anyway. So, Right Down the Line has been introduced enough. Let's fucking listen to it. Okay, I'm back with you. This is an excellent song from Gerry Rafferty. Obviously in his solo career, not with Steelers Wheel anymore at this point, but this is taken from the Baker Street album, I think. I'm going by memory. Never usually a good sign this late in the show anyway. But every Wednesday I am here with you live at 5, or at least that's the intention, live at 5 for all of my live shows. You may notice on the schedule that it talks about replays as well that go live at 3 o'clock. Well, I'm tweaking those at the moment. That is a desired idea that I'm going to be reusing some of the content we've already made on the show and maybe make an hour of each of the shows, each of the types of shows, for a 2-hour show on a Tuesday and on a Saturday. That may change, but keep your eyes peeled. They're not currently running. We're not doing anything on those Tuesdays and Saturdays, but we will be in the future. I have a desire to do so. I want to say a big thank you for everybody who's joined me in today's show and for all of the hosts and all of your involvement. I'm just aware that I know at least one person who's going to be going to stream shortly, so I wanted to say a big thank you. All of you people, you inspire me and also put a huge smile on my face and warmth in my heart. Thank you very much for doing so. We've got some Captain and Tennille up next. That will be our next track. We've also got... No, actually I meant to play the brand new music next. After that I've got some Captain and Tennille for you. So we'll be playing some brand new music after this track from Gerry Rafferty. And then there is also some games to talk to you about. We'll be talking to you about some games shortly as well. So let's finish off the brand new music with this last new artist. I say artist, I think they're a 4-piece group. I need to find my notes from my back pocket, and then I can tell you all the information informed in the correct way, at least anyway. That's the idea behind it. So this is another band, another artist who is from Ireland. They are called Pillow Queens, and the name, where is it? No, there it is. So Pillow Queens, the name of this song is Brother. So it's a Dublin band. If you want to find out more information about them, I will be tweeting out information about this artist on the Twitter feed for you to find. So the breadcrumbs would be, make your way to my Twitter feed and all will be clear. But have a listen to the song before you're convinced. So don't just take my word for it. I wouldn't. And I'm me. Here is Brothers from Pillow Queens, and it's certainly a sentiment that I can get on board with, mainly because I'm the youngest of lots of brothers. Let's say it that way. Have a listen, see what you think. Brand new music.
So sorry since we hit 18. I'll be really coming up short. Here's hoping I can keep you, please. Not another one reposing in dirt. So teary-eyed, I'm you and
that's the last of the brand new music. On today's show, at least, anyway. Take that down just a touch. That was brand new music from Pillow Queens. They are a 4-piece group from Dublin, and they are a 4-piece girl group, I could call them, or female rock group. I don't know, whatever you want to refer to them. They are of the female gender. That's all I wanted to point out, really. Not that it's that important, it's just such an excellent song and such a beautiful sentiment. I am the youngest of many brothers, and every single one of my brothers are guys who I have wanted to emulate and wanted to be in some way or another. I love them all, and I completely sympathise with, there goes the man I want to be, there goes my brothers, I love my brothers and my brothers love me. What a beautiful sentiment. So I'm totally on board with that. So that was brand new music. If you're looking for more information about Pillow Queens, then make your way to the Twitter feed. And if you would like some help to make your way to the Twitter feed, then I shall press on that button. There you go. Bang! The Twitter feed should pop up. Fuck it, the Twitter feed didn't pop up. Oh well. We shall maybe, hopefully, nudge one of our mods into action, and it will be up on... Oh, it did pop on the screen. It just took a little fucking too long for me to get all calm about it. Right. If you want to make your way to the Twitter feed, you will find the very last thing I tweeted was about that band, and that is a beautiful song. I am keeping my eyes and ears peeled for more information about Pillow Queens. Here is that previously mentioned Captain and Tennille song, Love Will Keep Us Together. Even if we have to part, our hearts will always be together.
Love will keep us together. Think of me, babe, whenever some sweet talking girl comes along, singing a song. Don't mess around, you just gotta be strong. Just stop, 'cause I really love you. Stop, I've been thinking of you. Look in my heart and let love keep us together. You belong to me now. Ain't gonna set you free now. When those girls start hanging around, talking me down, yeah, with your heart and you won't hear a sound. Just stop, 'cause I really love you. Stop, I've been thinking of you. Look in my heart and let love keep us together. Whatever. Young and beautiful, someday your looks will be gone. When the others turn you off, who'll be turning you on? I will be there to share forever. Love will keep us together. I said it before and I'll say it again. While others pretend, I need you now and I need you then. Just stop, 'cause I really love you. Stop, I've been thinking of you. Look in my heart and let love keep us together. Whatever, whatever, I will.
Yes, you are right. This was originally penned and recorded by Neil Sedaka in 1973, but this would be the Captain Tennille version, which was released in 1975. And Neil Sedaka's version does not have that funky keyboard, organ, whatever you want to call it, in the middle. That's just one of the reasons why I love this corny-ass version. It's a brilliant song, though. So, thank you very much for joining me. We're coming up to the end of the second hour of today's show. This is episode 51 of Online. 1 week away from completing a year's worth of online shows. So, join me for next week, as it will be a very special edition indeed. We may have to do something a little bit more special for it. I haven't decided yet. You know me, I like to ride by the seat of my pants and see what happens. If you're using the entire chair, you're using too much room. You should be sitting right on the edge. We have the Doobie Brothers with one more song for this hour, but stay tuned. We still haven't completed telling you about all of the games, so we still got two brand new games. Actually, We've got 3 brand new games. I haven't spoken about the PlayStation 1 yet, so we've still got 3 brand new games to be talking about, as well as pointing out about the Remembering Retro retrospective. So we look back to a game that is at the very least, not the most recent version of that game from that company. Does that make sense? It will make more sense after the news and weather at the top of the hour. So you'll have to stay for a couple more minutes to find out. Minute by minute by minute by minute. Yes, here is the Doobie Brothers. With a song called Minute by Minute, in case you weren't sure.
Your alternative news for Wednesday, the 11th of December. Politicians are pounding more pavements on the last day before the general election tomorrow. Voters are being urged to turn up tomorrow at polling stations, because together we will all make a big difference. Casting your vote also means you can complain to your mates when your team haven't won. Good luck. The weather is pretty nasty with a lot of rain, and some hail reported in some areas as autumn heads for winter. Wrap up warmly and dance the hours away with us here on LJTV.
Okay, so we've round the corner and we've reached the final part of today's show. It is just a small little nugget. It is extra time. It was always planned, don't worry. I know that it seems like a football match, there should be just 2 halves, but no, there is always extra time. We don't quite get down to penalties, or we haven't done so far yet. But I'm always prepared. I've always got my penalty list chosen out, so I know the running order of my best players. I'm talking about football. Forget that. We're talking about music. That's what we're about here. So the album in focus has been addressed and focused in on today's show already. So we will be back with that album on Friday's show for The Bridge. That'll be a show that is dedicated to trying to encourage you to make the most of whatever the weekend is going to offer you. We still have new games to talk to you about. We've already spoken about all of the brand new music on today's show. Some excellent brand new artists out there as well. So we've got a retrospective game to be talking about. So a game of yesteryear that will inspire tomorrow's stream. So I do not just do shows about music. I could if I was that way inclined, but I don't. I do game shows as well, is what I'm trying to struggle to say. So on a game show we play games. I mean, it's kind of does exactly what it says on the tin. Tomorrow's show is Thursday Throwback, where we look at a retrospective, or the retrospective from today's show we will be playing for the first hour of tomorrow's show, as well as playing a independent type game. So we look for the platformers. That's for the platformer informer type of segment of the show. And of course, every single show has an escape hatch built in. So they all have different titles of them, but there is an escape hatch should we have to change things up. That's all that matters. That's the only reason it's there for. So we're going to move to a song from Bob Dylan. This is a really long song from Bob Dylan, actually. This is Hurricane. It is too naughty for nice radio.
Pistol shots ring out in a barroom night. Enter Betty Valentine from the upper hall. She sees a bartender in a pool of blood. Cries out, my God, they've killed them all. Here comes the story of the hurricane. The man the authorities came to blame for something that he never done. Put in a prison cell, but one time he could have been the champion of the world. 3 bodies lying dead as Patty C. And another man named Bello moving around mysteriously. I didn't do what he says, and he throws up his hands. I was only robbing the register, I hope you understand. I saw him leave and he says, and he stops. One of us had better call up the cops. And so Patty calls the cops. And they arrive on the scene with their red lights flashing in a hot New Jersey night. Meanwhile, far away in another part of town, Reuben Carter and a couple of friends are driving around. Number 1 contender for the middleweight crown. Had no idea what kind of shit was about to go down when a cop pulled him over to the side of the road. Just like the time before and the time before that. In Patterson, that's just the way things go. If you're black, you might as well not show up on the street unless you wanna draw the heat. Alfred Bello had a partner and he had a rap for the cops. Him and other Dexter Bradley were just out prowling around. He said, I saw 2 men running out, they looked like middleweights. Jumped into a white car with out-of-state plates. And Miss Patty Valentine just nodded her head. champion of the world. 4 months later, the ghettos are inflamed. Rubens in South America fighting for his name. Well, Arthur Dexter Bradley's still in the robbery game. And the cops are putting the screws to him looking for somebody to blame. Remember that murder that you happened in a bar? Remember you said you saw the getaway car? Think you'd like to play ball with the law? Think it might have been that fighter that you saw running that night. Don't forget that you are white.
I'm wondering how long I had the camera on for. I know I've been standing around doing stuff. I have no idea how long I've been showing that to you lovely people. Or if I've been singing to myself for too long and you've been hearing me doing that. I'm not entirely sure. Well, you know, these things happen. I'll be taking a closer look at that one for the future. I think we have a little button that we could press at this point. That would be...
God damn it! Ruben could take a man out with just one punch, but he never did like to talk about it all that much.
So this is a song about Ruben Hurricane, who could have been the champion of the world. One of these days he could have been the champion of the world, but he got caught up in this epic tale. This song is about 8 minutes, well, almost 9 minutes long, actually. But it's a great song from Robert Zimmerman, also known as Bob Dylan. We move back to the charts of yesteryear for our second song of the new segment of the show, as per usual. So you've probably got used to that as an idea by now. So this track, next track is going to be from The Pretenders. It was also brand new into this week's chart of 1979, and it was in at number 33. I know I'm talking over Robert Zimmerman, but you know, I'm sure he'll be okay with that, considering he's won Nobel Prizes for his lyrics. He doesn't need me to pay attention to him. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, we'll be paying attention to The Pretenders and Brass in Pocket in just a moment. There is still games to talk to you about, a fascinating fact that I'd like to share with you. As a matter of fact, I will dig out the info and tell you that in just a second.
Robert Carter was falsely tried. The crime was murder when, guess who testified? Bellow and Bradley, and they both lied. And the newspapers, they all went along for the ride. How can the life of such a man be in the palm of some fool's hand? To see him obviously framed couldn't help but make me feel ashamed to live in a land where justice is a game.
Yes, it's not a happy tune, is this, but it's a very upbeat tune. So it's all out of context with itself. I love songs like that. There's a brilliant track from Honky Chateau from Elton John, which is called I Think I'm Going to Kill Myself. And it's a really upbeat, jaunty song. I think we'll go on anyway. I don't want to confuse you too much. We've got Bob Dylan still playing. Here is a fascinating fact, if I do say so myself, and you can share it online, or you could just memorize it, and you could share it using the old-fashioned method of writing it onto a tiny piece of paper, tying it to a pigeon's leg and sending it across the world, or something like that. You have options. You do have options. Don't feel like someone's going to restrict you after I've told you this. That's all I'm saying. One fact about anything at all, well, people are 39% more likely to click on an online ad if it features a man with a beard rather than a clean-shaven man. I think that's a fascinating fact, and I wonder why. What is it that appeals to me about that story? I don't know. So yes, we have a picture to show show that in picture form, I suppose, and I'm just tweeting out about it now. So if you want to share that, it's just a little bit of information, a little bit of a fact, a fascinating fact, if I do say so myself. Each and every week we look for a fascinating fact, and that is changed on a Friday show where we have different features, many, many different features indeed. So there is something that takes the place of the fascinating fact on a Friday. You'll have to tune in then to find out what it's all about. Interesting, very interesting. Well, that does make me feel like I should be some sort of, was it martial artist? Yeah. Ah, you want to fight me, do you? You are looking for fight. No, let's not do that. Let's move back to the charts of yesteryear. We've already told you that 33 was the position for the Pretenders, who were brand new into this week's chart of 1979. Here is Brass in or around said pocket.
Got brass in pocket. Gunpowder, I'm gonna use it. Intention. Motion, restrained emotion. I've been diving, detour leaning, no reason. Just seems so crazy. Gonna make you notice. Gonna use my arm, gonna use my legs, gonna use my style, gonna use my side step.
Gotta have some of your attention, give it to me. Seems like the perfect time for me to jump in. When she says she's special, I'm sure she doesn't mean like special bus type special. But I thought I would interrupt anyway, because I can't interrupt on your stream. I can only interrupt on my own. Brass in Pocket was brand new into the charts this week of December 1979. In at number 33, I believe it would continue to climb the charts, much higher than that. I'll check that fact before this song is over and provide that to you. We've got some Jim Crochet. I always mess up his name. Coming up next, anyway. I think I want to call him Jim Cross, because I used to call him Jim Cross when I couldn't read his name, and nobody at that point had told me what his name was. So anyway. We've got some Jim coming up in just a moment, and then I'm going to be talking to you about some games as well. So after the next track, we'll be knocking both of those games out of the park, the new games at least anyway. Then we'll have another piece of music, and then we'll be talking to you about a retro game. And I think we might have ticked most of the things off the list anyway. We'll be checking and finding out more information, and then of course we're looking to host VTech at the end of today's stream. A wonderful man, wonderful streamer, and we would suggest you get on his follow list, because it will help you. If you are a streamer, it will help you, honestly.
Operator, or could you help me place this call? See, the number on the matchbook is old and faded. She's living in LA with my best old ex-friend Ray. Gosh, she said she knew well and sometimes hated. Isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show I've overcome the blow. I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself
save me. There's something in my eyes, you know it happens every time. I think about the love that I thought would save me. But isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can't find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show I've overcome the blow. I've learned to take it well. I only wish my words could just convince myself that it just wasn't real. But that's not the way it feels. No, 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 no. That's not the way it feels. Operator, oh, let's forget about this call. There's no one there I really wanted to talk to.
Thank you so much for joining us, 8-Bit, and thank you very much for the embers. That is very, very kind of you. Thank you so much. But having you in the chat room is the gift in itself. Thank you so much. You don't have to do that. I do appreciate it though. Thank you so much. We are listening to Jim Croce, I think is how I'm going to say his name now anyway, with Operator. To be honest with you, I know that Artemis knows his music. I wasn't expecting this to be a track that you knew so well. Excellent. Thank you so much. And yes, we've got more. Wow. That is my favourite one. You found my favourite one. This one here, that'd be my favourite one. Thank you so much. Let me play that again. Ember High! Boom! Embers! And we jumped over to this screen so we can say thank you. From the Hand of God style. From the Sistine Chapel we say thank you. We go to those heights to appreciate you here on this channel. Thank you so much. Bless your hearts. And thank you so much for joining. We've got a little bit of time left. There isn't much time left together, but we've still got a few features to talk about. So we've got some brand new music to be highlighting for you. And if we just press on that button, we've got some walking and talking music to use as well. Not quite quiet enough though. So beforehand we were listening to Brass in Pocket, which was the new release into the charts of yesteryear that we were pointing out from 1979. It was brand new in at number 33, but I did tell you I would figure out where it was that it finished. In the US charts it would peak out at number 14, and in our charts it would peak at number 1. So with no places left to climb in our charts. Anyway, let's talk to you about the games for this week. We've already been speaking about the Xbox release, and we have 3 games to catch up with for the brand new games, which are escaping my view here. No, there we go. So yes, we were already talking about Arise, which is the highlight for the Xbox for this week, and also the top rated game for us for this week. So Arise, a simple story, is already available on the marketplace, but seek it out, it may be available on your consoles too. Life is Strange 2 Episode 5, Wolves is the title. Follow the story with the newest sequel, with this newest sequel. So 7.1 for Life is Strange, and we're highlighting that for the PlayStation 4. It is one of those games that is available across the board, so it will no doubt be already available on your marketplace. All of these games will already be out. We leave them to be out for at least a week before we can highlight them, so that you don't just go, oh yeah, I've got to remember that one. You can go out and seek them out, the ones that take your fancy is what I'm trying to say. So that's Life is Strange, a very long, lots of sequels for that particular series on the PlayStation. And then we move to the Switch, where they are finally receiving their version of Alien Isolation. How will you survive the horrors that await you? Well, if you've ever seen the movie, it might also give you some tips along the way, but it has received an 8.2 rating from us, and that is Alien Isolation for the Switch. It's been available on many different consoles for ages, but when things make their way to the Nintendo, it often takes much longer for them to release it. So, last but not least to talk to you about is the PC release, and then we also have a retro to talk about in a little while. But that is Shovel Knight. King of Cards is its full title, and it's a strategy game prequel to the Shovel Knight game that you may have played already. This has received a very respectable 8.1 rating and is available on the PC, but no doubt, in this world we live in, will be available on many other things too. So, I know a little bit about music. You know a lot about music, Artemis. You're being all humble there. Humble? No, not at all. We are going to move to more than this from some more music, but this time Roxy music. And then after this, we'll talk to you about our Remembering Retro, which we will play for the first hour of tomorrow's stream.
I could feel at the time there was no way of knowing. Falling leaves in the night, looking sad and glowing, as free as the wind. Hopefully learning why the sea on the tide is no way turning. More than that, you know there's nothing more than that. Tell me one thing more than that. There's nothing. It was fun for a while. There was no way of knowing, like a flickering in the light. Who can say where we're going? With no caring no more. Maybe I'm running while the sea on the tide. There's no way turning. More than that, you know there's nothing more than that. Tell me one thing more than that. No, there's nothing. More than that. Nothing more than that. More than that. Nothing.
I think it may be Lost in Translation soundtrack that it was quite well received on. I think it's been on other soundtracks as well, I'm pretty sure. Sounds very much like an 80s track that would be on a soundtrack anyway. But yes, I think Artemis, with his original soundtrack info, he may be on the money once again, but for some reason I keep thinking of those movies. So, what have we got in store? We're going to be talking to you about games. Yes, we're going to be talking to you about games. So after a little bit of research, apparently it's also in a movie with Nicolas Cage called Matchstick Men. So it might be in that one as well. I mean, it's Roxy music. You can't really go wrong with Roxy music, can you? So Brian Eno Yes, he is a firm favourite of original soundtracks and a firm member of Roxy Music. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit off track. We've got some Supertramp lined up with Goodbye Stranger. That will be our next song on today's set list as we prepare to make our way out of the door. And so some of the songs may have some sort of mixtape element to them where I'm saying certain things but in lyrics and in music. I'll be making my way out of the door soon, and we will be hosting VTech should his stream still be up and running. I do know he has not been feeling very well, so fingers crossed. We certainly hope he is doing much better and able to do a full stream. Let's talk to you about our Remembering Retro for this week. So we go all the way back. See if you can remember back this far. We go as far back as 2010. 2010, apparently. Okay. So 2010 is when we're looking at this game, and we are looking at the first-person shooter that is available on Windows, so on the Xbox and any of PC games, PlayStation 3, the Wii, and the Xbox. As we are talking about Call of Duty Black Ops. Call of Duty Black Ops is a single-player, a multiplayer game. It has been a huge game, and not the first of the Call of Duty series. So it's set during the 1960s is the first one, although they have done many different ones since then. This first one, the 7th in the series of Call of Duty's games, and it was set in the 60s of the Cold War. It follows a CIA operative, Alex Manson, as he tries to stop the broadcast to sleeper agents who will unleash chemical weapons across the USA. That is the whole storyline premise behind the original game, but there has been lots of different additions since it. So lots of gameplay, including multiple options on 14 different maps. There's many PvP, PvE, all of those kind of options on this game as well. After 6 weeks, developers said sales had topped $1 billion in units. They moved $1 billion of this game 6 weeks after it was released. I mean, that's fucking insane, isn't it? So, this is a game that is definitely worth highlighting. We will not be playing the Call of Duty Black Ops 1. We will be playing Call of Duty Black Ops 4. So, you can look forward to some Call of Duty Black Ops gameplay tomorrow for the very first hour of the stream, which is entitled Thursday Throwback. We play an old game, so it's not really that old this time, but sometimes they are the very first games that were ever released. So we do go we do have quite a lot of options to choose from, and we do go right back and stay up recent as well. So proof is in the pudding. We will be talking about and playing this game on tomorrow's stream, so tune in tomorrow live at 5 to catch the first hour where it will be dedicated to the Call of Duty game I've just been talking about. Except for it will be number 4. So, Goodbye Stranger from Supertramp. I already told you it was going to get played. So I'm a man of my word, or at least I try to be a man of my word. I once promised myself that I would be a man of my word. So ever since then, I've been trying to be a man of my word.
I was up before the dawn, and I really have enjoyed my stay, but I must be moving on. Like a king without a castle, like a queen without a throne, I'm an early morning lover, and I must be moving on.
Okay, just wanted to quickly say, Artemis, thank you so much for joining us and for all of your involvement. I hope that I've caught you before you've made your way out the door, but do have a safe journey home. We want our Care Bear in one piece and in a safe, dry place. Take care of yourself. You warm my heart with your presence.
Keep me in my youth, like a ship without an anchor, like a slave without a chain. Just the thought of those sweet ladies as they shiver through my veins. And I will go on shining, shining like brand new. I'll never look behind me, my troubles will be few.
Goodbye, stranger. It's been nice. Hope you
and some they don't. And some you just can't tell. And some they will and some they won't. And some it's just as well. You can laugh at my behavior, that'll never bother me. Say the devil is my savior, but I don't pay no heed. And I will go out shining, it's shining like brand new. I'll never look behind me, my troubles will be few.
Goodbye, stranger. It's been nice. Hope you find a paradise. Try to see your point of view. Hope your dreams will all come true. Goodbye, Mary. Goodbye, Jane. Will we ever meet again? Feel no sorrow. Feel no shame. Come tomorrow. Feel no pain.
Sweet devotion, not for me. Just give me motion. You set me free. Let the ocean far away. Life I've chosen.
Let's just take that down to a nice talking level. Okay, so we're beginning to wrap up today's show. It has been another successful episode of Online, if I do say so myself. Feel free to agree with me, but if you disagree, feel free to do that too, just not in the chat. I'd appreciate that. So, right, what are we going to be up to? I've got one more song between us and the virtual door that will lead me out of the virtual studio. But stay tuned, we will be running the credits in just a moment. We'll also be hosting VTech with a very wonderful man who has not been very well recently, so we're hoping to see him in fine, what's the word I'm looking for? Fettle, is that a word? I think it's sort of. I certainly hope we see him doing very, very well. This song is Supertramp. It is called Goodbye Stranger. If you are a stranger and you've just joined us for the very first time, hit the follow button, find your way back here. Live at 5 will be the days on most times you'll find me. If I'm live, starting at 5, then it's a brand new show. So join me then in the future, as it's much more important not try to do it in the past. We've got one more song, and that will be from James Taylor. James Taylor will be providing the last song on today's set list, but inspired by the type of music that the album in focus is from. So the album in focus for this week is from Cat Stevens. We shall be returning to that album on Friday's show, The Bridge, where we'll be talking to you more about that album and hearing another song from it. So James Taylor is very much a folk kind of artist as well, but we're going to finish off with one more song, and that will be from him. If you wish to catch me again and cannot wait till Friday, don't worry, there is tomorrow's show again live at 5, and that will be for Thursday Throwback, where we'll be playing games on the stream, and there is plenty of features to be had. You'll have to tune in tomorrow to find out about that. But if you want to know the other days that I am streaming, check the panels below and you will find more information there to be had. You could also make your way to the Twitter feed, which if I press this button, I don't actually remember if it's procking the right thing, but the Twitter feed is the right place that I keep up to date. It is the social media of choice for me. Just like the Mixer channel is my streaming channel of choice. So if you happen to be watching on the other platforms, then make your way over to the Mixer channel. That is my preferred choice. But if you're on the Mixer channels and you wanted to help us, support us a little bit more, then there is the follow on the Twitch or the YouTube channel that I could certainly do with. I would really appreciate that. So I'm just going to proc those two now. We're going to hit play on the song, and then we're going to run the credits, and then we'll see VTech in just a moment. Lots of thems. Here is the YouTube one. That will hopefully proc the right thing in chat, so you'll be able to click on that one and find your way to my YouTube channel. I could really do with 100 followers on the YouTube channel so we can have a custom URL. And this next one is the Twitch one. So there we are. We've got all of those hopefully now available in the actual chat for you to do something about if you are that way inclined. No obligation whatsoever. Here is Steamroller from James Taylor, taken from the Sweet Baby James album. Back in a moment.
Well, I'm a steamroller, babe. I'm bound to roll all over you. Yes, I'm a steamroller now, baby. I'm bound to roll all over you. I'm gonna inject your soul with some sweet rock and roll and shoot you full of rhythm and blues. Well, I'm a cement mixer, a churning urn of burning funk. Yes, I'm a cement mixer for you, babe. A churning urn of burning funk. Well, I'm a demolition derby, yeah. A hefty hunk of steaming junk. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Okay, Steamroller from James Taylor's last song, and I've just taken a look. VTech is still streaming at the moment, so he is streaming Grand Theft Auto. He is doing the role playing, and he says happy 11th of Xmas. So maybe we could say something like that to him when we go into the room or something. I don't know. You decide. But let's send VTech some love. VTech Insomniac, get on his follow list, and it will benefit you, especially if you are a streamer. If you would like to keep up to date with what's going on the channel, you can make your way to the Discord as well. As on the Discord, we've been trying to build that up a little bit, and I could do with help. So you know what? If you're interested, follow this link and make your way to our Discord. I say our Discord because it will be our Discord. So that is it. That is the end of today's show. Take care of yourselves until we meet again, ladies and gentlemen. Do be lucky.
Got a bad case of steamroller blues.